Hi, this is Mr. Smith, and in this video I'm going to be giving you a video tour of eCampus, also known as Blackboard, and also MyLab Math, which we sometimes call My Math Lab. That's its old name. So let's go ahead and get started. So first of all, when you come into Blackboard, you're going to have your quick links. Yours will probably say student, I'm guessing. And then you want to click on courses. And this course, now you have the 0317 part, which is the developmental math part. We won't actually go in there other than to see your grade for that course. Let's see. Oh, I'm in the wrong page here, so let me get to the right place. There we go. So sign into your course. You can see it's still under construction, but that's going to change here real soon. So first of all, when you first come in here, you're going to see announcements, and this is the announcement that you should read, and it's going to tell you what you can find here in eCampus and what you need to do to get started in this course. And so that's that. Make sure you read that. The first thing it's going to tell you to do is read the syllabus, but before we do that, let's go in here. So if you've never taken an online course, this is a really nice resource through Dallas College. Getting started with online courses, it's for the most part short and sweet, and I think information's good. If you want more than that, you can do this one here. And the one that we were just looking at is this one here, and you can see there's 4 others. Now, there's a lot of good stuff in there, but just be careful not to get too caught up in all that. The most important thing is to get the basics, which I think you'll get from that other one, and to get your assignments done. Remember that the assignments you need to get done the first week. So, all right, so let's go to syllabus. So you're going to want to print out the syllabus, and I'd encourage you to highlight the things that are important to you, things you don't want to forget, and if there's any questions, you might put some question marks in some places. But the syllabus is very thorough, and it also includes the schedule. And the schedule, you could basically follow that all semester as you're doing assignments, and the dates are also in MyLab Math. All right, let's go back to here, and by the way, I'm having to go back and forth here to this little menu. That's because this is a small window I'm using to record this video. Normally, I think this will be open the whole time, depending on how big your screen is. So let's go to actually, we'll go to MyLab Math shortly. If you want to email me, you can click on here and send a quick email to me. Let's go here where it talks about introductions and questions. Let's do that. First of all, there's an introductions link, and so you'll find that I've introduced myself here, and you can reply to my introduction, and then if you'd like, and then you can also go back and create your own. Let's see. Why am I not seeing? Hold on a second. Let's go back into this. So when you're in here, oh, here you go, create thread. And that's how you'll do your own introduction. And you'll see that I did a written introduction, and then I did some pictures and a video. You can introduce yourself however you want. Most people just write out one, but whatever you're comfortable with. And then the other thing I want to point out is to navigate. You just click on this here, and notice also there's a place for test 1 questions. Here's 3 problems that I've answered for students in the past. And so I did videos, so I just posted those here. So if I create any videos this semester, those will be posted here. You can always check those out. And again, let's go back and let's move on to Teams. I haven't decided if we're going to do Teams yet here. So if I do, that's the link that I'll be using. You can access your grades in eCampus, although there's nothing in there now. But after each test, I'll record grades in eCampus. This is resources. There's several different resources for students. Now, there's a new system that's coming out, and I don't think it's quite ready. But once it's set up, you're going to have a link, I believe, to it, and it'll have all these types of things. Although you do have some things here that may stay here, but all to say it may change a little bit. But there's some resources for you. Help, if you need help with anything in eCampus, here's some phone numbers, some other information. There's some videos for Blackboard and tutorials for eCampus. They're basically very similar, but there are some differences. Let's see, learning materials. If you click on that, it's supposed to have all the materials for your courses. Mine's going to look different than yours. I don't know how useful that is, but that's something that I know that they want you to have access to. And then finally, if you want to go to a tutoring session, you click here, and I'll have a session set up. Notice I haven't created any yet, and you'll just click on that here. All right, so that's everything in eCampus. Let's go ahead into MyLab Math now. Now, the first time you go into one of these links, it's going to have you register. So notice here I actually went in to the program. Whoops. There we go. So once you've registered, you're going to want to run the browser check, and it's basically checking that you have everything you need to run the program without any issues. Notice I don't have any plugins I need to add. And I'll come back to assignments. That's where you're going to spend most of your time. This is the MyMathLab gradebook, but again, one of the things I mentioned in the introduction or the first announcement is this grade will often be a little bit off because of the settings. So the one you really want to focus on is the ones that are in eCampus, or the grades that are in eCampus. This isn't, it should be somewhere in the same ballpark, but it just kind of depends on certain things. To get to the textbook, one of the ways you can do it is click here. Takes a little bit of time to download. And if you click here, this is basically your index, and you can go wherever you need to go. We'll go to chapter 3, section 2, and there's your book. You can close this here. Of course, again, I'm in a small screen, so you can't quite see it all, and this is how you go from page to page. And you can kind of play around in here and see that your textbook is basically right here. And let's see, let's try clicking out of here. All right, and Multimedia Library, how's that? Let's go to chapter 1, and we'll do section 3. And if you select all, these are basically all the supportive things that they've made to help you as you're working through MyMathLab. Oh, there they are. So you can see there's, that's not one we really use much. You've got a PowerPoint. This is the link to the textbook where you can find examples and, just like what you'd normally see in the textbook. And then these are videos. So you always have access to this stuff through the Multimedia Library. So later in the course, if you need to go back and look at something, this may be the easiest way, although I think I've set it up so it's pretty easy to stay inside the assignments place. Let's Look at the next one here, integration support. That's only going to be needed if you have some kind of technical problems this semester. They may ask for this information when you're getting help. Hopefully that will not be an issue. And if you have any kind of learning disabilities and you're concerned about accessibility, there are some things in here that you may want to check out. And that's pretty much everything we want to look at here except for assignments. So that's where we'll spend most of our time for MyLab Math. So notice transitioning to college, and I'm going to have to do something. It's missing some stuff here. But these two here, how to enter answers, that's if you, what I find is most students are pretty good at putting the answers into MyMathLab. You're used to working with templates and stuff like that. So if at some point you're having problems entering your answers in MyMathLab, I would encourage you to click on this link, and there's some good help there. Transitioning to college, this is an assignment that's going to be due. There's another one that's missing here, and I'll make sure I put it in. I'm not sure why it's not showing here. But these are the assignments that I talked about for certification, 1.1, 1.2, 1.3, and this quiz. And let's go ahead and go into this one here. So notice it tells you just some basic things here. 50% off after the due date. Let's go to question 8. All right, and this is not where I wanted to be. Let's see if we can. All right, I think I want to switch. So you can hit save. It'll take you back here. And click OK, and it'll take you out of here. I think I want to go to, let's see. Let's go here. There's something I wanted to show you, and it's nicer if we have a more basic problem to work with. Oh goodness, let's see. All right, let's go back. Oh, let's see. Let's try here. Here we go. All right, so I want to show you all the different features using this problem just because it's nice and simple. And so here, rounding to the nearest thousandth, I'm just going to go ahead and put in 1.42. So that's a wrong answer. And I'm going to answer the question. Or wait a second, I guess they don't mind me not putting in a 0 there. So, oh goodness, that didn't work out so well. Let's do a similar question. Here we go. So 1.34 is what I'm going to put in. And that is a wrong answer. All right, and I get 3 tries, which is often the case. Final check. And notice now I'm going to have a red X. So I'm going to put OK. So I can save this attempt or save best score. We're going to save this attempt, and we're going to move on. Now, if you click right here, you can see that we missed that problem. Let's go back to that problem. And all we have to do is click on similar question, And to the nearest thousandth, well, because this is a 5, we'll round this up 1, so it'll be 1.214. 1.214, which is also known as 1 in 214 thousandths. And notice now that's good. And so now let's go back. And you can see that this is now a green check, which means we did it right. So the thing I want you to see here is that if you're willing to go back and check your answers and correct them, I should say to correct them, you can get 100% on all your assignments. Here you have Help Me Solve This. It'll help you solve this problem. You got View an Example, which will give you another example, and then you can come back to the current problem. This is where there's other help. This is where you have access to the textbook for section 1.2. If you click here, the nice thing about this is it'll send me the problem. I can see exactly what you're looking at, and you can ask your question here. And then this is where I'll respond back, and sometimes I'll send video, and those are the ones I post in that other area I showed you earlier. And you know, sometimes you'll find videos in here, certainly as things get a little bit more challenging later on. And then the other thing I want to show you is if you are, again, if you have some accessibility concerns, this is an option that you might want to check out. And I think that's about all I want to show you here. If you have any questions, anything that still doesn't make sense, just let me know and I'd be glad to help. That's it for our tour.